Our guest today is Ana Mateo, and in honor of Father's Day, she wrote a story about some funny things that dads say. And so, Ana, tell us about what you'd like to share today.
Sure. So I don't know if all countries around the world have Father's Day. So I would love to hear from everyone if you also celebrate Father's Day and on what day that is. But in the States, it is the third Sunday in June. I think I have that right. Um, and we celebrate our dads, and we have so many great expressions for fathers. But I chose to write about some of the funny things our dads say to us growing up, and also jokes that are known in the US as dad jokes. And it's hard to describe what a dad joke is. They are usually silly and very corny. And that's the word that I wanted to teach today. It's kind of hard to explain, but something that is corny is silly and funny, but it makes your children do this. Oh, dad. The eye roll. I can't believe you just said that. Um, so a lot of dad jokes are actually puns, a play on words. And so I have some here for you. And these are actually really good for English learners because you have to understand the meaning of the words literally and then understand how the fathers are playing with those words to make them a joke. So it's actually very difficult, I think, as a language learner. So I'll give you one example. Okay, the dad said, my wife said to me, "You really have no sense of direction, do you?" The father said, "Where did that come from?" Okay, so you may be wondering, why is that funny? Well, it's a play on the words sense of direction. So what is your sense of direction? It's, you can tell your east from your west. You know if you are traveling north, you have a good sense of direction. But the reason that joke is funny to English speakers is because the expression, "where did that come from?" We say that a lot to mean, I don't understand why you're speaking to me that way. So if Dr. Jill says to me, um, "Anna, she's kind of angry. "Anna, you were late, and what's up with your hair?" I can say, "Where did that come from?" Like, I'm confused about your attitude. I'm confused about your tone of voice. And we say, "Where did that come from?" when people speak to us rudely. So that's why that joke is funny. I'll repeat the joke. The wife says, "You really have no sense of direction, do you?" The
Or
husband,
I'll do the husband's
"Oh,
part,
great,
okay?
thank you,
Uh,
thank you. You really have no sense of direction, do you?"
and I said, "Where did that come from?"
But bum.
Oh, can you hear me okay now? Imad
Okay,
texted that my voice was
okay.
too low.
So that's one
It is
example
okay.
It's
of a
all right
fun.
now?
Yes, okay.
Okay, maybe I just was leaning back too far. Okay, so that's the first one. Does everybody understand the word corny?
Yeah,
That was a key word.
because dad jokes
Okay.
are
I have new
not
mark. I just remembered
offensive.
I have new whiteboard markers here.
Awesome. So they are not meant to be mean or to hurt anyone's feelings. They're silly and funny and sometimes not very funny.
So does everybody understand this word corny?
Courtney. And a little old fashioned. Old
It
fashioned.
Yeah, it's something that is a maybe a little funny and maybe, you know, not very stylish, not, you know,
Correct.
Not
not
very
very.
cool. Not cool.
Yes, not cool, not modern. So when I make jokes with my teenage son, he rolls his eyes a lot. Someone commented on my article about respecting fathers, and this is something very important. Dad jokes are not making fun of fathers. Dads love making dad jokes. They love being corny, most of course, not all of them. But so when my husband becomes older, he's going to tell dad jokes. When my son gets older, he's going to tell corny dad jokes. So it's a generational thing, right? It's the things that we say that embarrass our children a little, or so that's one type of dad joke. So it's
Yeah.
not making fun of the fathers, it's really respecting them, and it's kind of being playful with them. And so, yeah, that's important to remember, that we're not making fun of fathers. They are in on the joke.
Yeah.
They are in on the joke, which means
So
they're actively encouraging these silly, corny jokes. It's loving. It's very loving and
yeah.
very endearing. It's not mean or making fun of fathers at all. So,
Yeah. So Anna, how about if I
Sure.
show the
yeah,
story?
yeah,
Um, there's the story that
please, thank you. In fact, on Twitter, it was the dads sharing all of these jokes. That's where
yeah.
I got these. I did not get these from anyone else but dads.
Uh-huh. So can you see the article now on your screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Okay. So the picture there is Tiger Woods and his son,
Yeah.
right?
Now,
At a father-son golf tournament.
there's
And so
also, yeah, sorry, Jill.
this is a words and their stories article that Anna wrote, and so one of the key words in here is corny, and also you can find eye rolls and embarrassed.
Yeah. But
uh, Go
I've
ahead,
written
Anna.
other articles for Father's Day, about the lessons we learn from our fathers. That's another aspect of Father's Day. So the things that you remember your father saying to you, and those lessons that you've learned that are so important. But every year I have to come up with a new story. And so this year I thought we would have a little fun with dad jokes. So,
Mhm.
but if you would like to share any maybe words of wisdom that your father shared with you that has helped you the most, please feel free to share that too. It doesn't have to be a dad joke if you want to share something else. But trust me, dads are famous for telling dad jokes. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing here now.
Well, let's see. Would you like to for me to help you read the next one that you
Yeah,
have?
sure.
Okay.
Okay, so
So,
maybe this time let's do the playing cards. Okay, so
okay. All right.
a deck of cards. Oh, I wish I had a deck with me. Um, I probably do have a deck of cards. Any playing cards. You play poker or other games.
Mhm.
When you give them out to the people you're playing with, you are dealing them, right?
Yep.
So a dealer in Vegas, Las Vegas, deals out cards. But also, how else do we use the word deal with it?
Mhm.
If you need to cope with a problem, right? My children glued my pack of playing cards together, and I don't know how to deal with it.
What?
I think that's really funny,
They're
but
stuck together.
so you don't know how to cope. You don't know how to deal with it, but you also don't know how to deal with it. So it's just silly. Very silly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try the army joke. Oh, let's do the eagle because
Okay.
that's okay.
Okay. Okay. The eagle. Okay. What do you call a sick eagle?
Illegal.
Ah,
illegal. But
So,
really, the word is illegal,
uh
not legal.
Illegal, not legal.
Illegal.
illegal.
I think that's so funny.
Okay.
Just
How about
like,
we do one more and then we'll
okay,
ask
I've got dad jokes.
a question. Why
These are
can't a
puns. I'm sorry. So these are puns. They take an expression and play with it a little.
why can't a nose be 12 inches?
Then it would be a foot. So a foot is 12 inches, right? A foot. But
Okay,
also,
Helen says in the chat that's funny. The eagle one.
oh my gosh. So these could go on and
Mm.
on and on. But yeah, dad jokes, they love to make puns, word puns. Not just dads, keep in mind, but boy, some dads.
Okay. So, do we have a question that we could ask our guests?
Or if anyone would like to share an expression about fathers from their country, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And do you have Father's Day?
Yeah,
Binod is waving his hand.
yeah, please
Okay.
share with us your culture on Father's Day.
Hello. Yeah, in my country, we also celebrate a traditional Father's Day according to lunar calendar. It's mostly on August or September first week. So we respect our fathers with their food, uh, especially sweet foods, meats, lovely delicious foods, and we present in front of Father's Day, and a kind of joke. Now today's father face is very big. See, how's the face? So we make like that, and
Yeah,
even who have lost their fathers, they pay respect in the holy places, right?
yeah,
So we celebrate, and it's not like a joke, but I still remember. I think when I was about 9 to 10 years, and my father and my aunts, okay, they talk. They have secret meetings or talks, but if you when they will talk about private and confidential in front of us, they use a different language. They, they have different language, right? So that I cannot understand what they are talking about. So I like their way of speaking. They use southern languages, other language, regional languages, which I don't understand. But
Mm.
I think that incident taught me that we should also learn more languages so that we can use.
right.
Okay.
We can learn
That's a
new
good
things.
lesson.
So
In the United States,
yeah,
where most parents are have only one language,
so
they spell words to keep it
Right.
secret from the children.
okay. So
They will
I think
spell it out.
that's the
That
funny
only
part.
works until
So
the children learn how to spell, right?
That's a
Okay,
so
so we
very
have some
funny thing.
hands up.
Here in Brazil, we celebrating the Father's Day on the second Sunday of August. And I don't think it's too much celebration, but we used to eat at home for our fathers. And to be honest, I had never thought about this kind of dad's joke, and it's new. I never heard about it, but reading your article, Anna, it brought me some memories about my father. For example, about money. On Sunday, he used to give us a small amount of money, and he always said, "Bring me change, bring me change." And we are, I mean, I thought, bring change with a small amount of money. And then when I turned back to leave, my eyes always rose because it's incredible. It was incredible. Ask changed. And it's so funny. I think he knew that he made us angry, and then he did it proposal.
Right, on purpose, right.
On purpose,
Yeah.
yes.
It's these little things dad do. They do this in their everyday just interactions with their children,
Yes,
that are just so lovely and so endearing is the best word I can think of. Um,
yes,
But maybe he was trying to teach you to be frugal.
or
He was giving you a lesson in economics that, you have a little bit of money, but if you want to bring change back to your father, you have to be careful with how you spend it.
exactly. I think we learned a lot with it.
sure.
Bringing change.
It's
Yes,
not given, money is not something you give lightly for so
yes.
many people. It's very significant. And Elaine, that's such a lovely memory. I'm glad that it came back to you. And
Thank you.
it's I believe that we make jokes to become closer to people. That's why I love humor. I love jokes. My jokes are never mean-spirited. And I think with fathers, um, we only joke with people that we want to get close to, in my opinion. So
Yes,
for me, humor is
Uh-huh.
a great way to connect and to remember people that we love. So that's was behind my head when I wrote this story is, to pay
yes,
tribute to somebody. We don't usually joke with people we don't like, right?
yes, exactly. Thank you.
So thanks, Elaine. That was
That's fine.
wonderful to hear. Yeah.
Fredo.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jill. At first, I like to say that we do celebrate Father's Day in Mexico, same as in the US, third Sunday of June. And there is a joke that a father used to say sometimes to children. I don't know the right translation to English, but it is in this way. A lot helps the one who does not get in the way. When the father is doing something really hard, something difficult, at a difficult task, and the children is there, they say to the children, a lot helps the one who does not get in the way. No? So I'm not sure if there is something similar in US, but that is the phrase. No?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think it's very difficult. A father's patience with children when he is trying to do something, fix something, repair something around the house, and the children are trying to help because they want to be
Exactly.
like their father. They want to help. Oh my gosh. That's a very, very common, I think, universal situation, right?
Yeah.
Some fathers might be more patient. Some fathers might just want the children to be away.
And what is the phrase or a joke that the father use to the children in that aspect?
Um, well, who is it? Somebody helps. Can
No,
you can you write
a lot
a,
helps the one that does not get in the way.
a lot?
Helps
Huh.
the
Because
one the one who does not get in the way.
it
So the
sounds
best,
like an
yeah.
expression. It sounds like an expression that we have here. It's God helps those who help themselves.
Yeah, similar.
Very similar, yeah.
But
The most helpful child is the one you don't see or hear.
so I think yeah what your father was saying, you can be helpful by getting out of the way.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. That's the
Okay.
phrase.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my dad, yeah. My dad would say things. We had 7 children in our family. So that's a lot of kids trying to help out sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
too much help. Too much
Yeah.
help is no help at all sometimes.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you,
Oh, thank you,
Alfredo.
Yeah,
Alfredo.
you're
That was
welcome.
very funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Importance.
thing, Dr. Jill, we should probably bring up, because it sounds like Father's Day in other places around the world also takes place during the summertime for some people, for half the hemisphere. We always have to keep that in mind. Here in the States, it is very common to have barbecues outside because many fathers like to barbecue
Mhm.
on a grill, get some veggie burgers or hamburgers or hot dogs, and they can talk about grilling all day. All day. All day they could talk about grilling. That's enough. Again, please don't think we're talking about all fathers. These are just different things that some fathers like to do on Father's Day. Um, Golfing, some fathers really like sports like golf or basketball. So maybe they enjoy their favorite sport on that day. So just some other little things we do on Father's Day. Oh my gosh,
Yep.
my dad taught me math. I am not very good at math. So the poor man had to try and teach me math. I will call him today and thank him again for his efforts. But every time I got an answer right, he would say the same thing. Every day of the week, every day of the week, Anna. That's the answer, every day of the week. So now I say that to my son. I actually have said that every day of the week. So we become our parents. We really do.
So I have a Father's Day grilling uh, a, a grilling joke for you. I, my dad just got a fancy new grill, and I'm worried that he'll get hurt trying to use it. Okay, so ask me why.
Why?
The stakes have never been higher.
Oh, that's a bad pun. I know it's a great pun. That's a great pun. So
Okay,
yeah,
here's a picture of a couple of
oh my gosh.
fathers grilling.
You have to roll your eyes at these jokes. They're
and
so bad, but so good.
there's a whole page of Father's Day grilling jokes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Oh,
perfect. Yeah.
there's there's a cartoon of some man
Oh my
grilling.
gosh. Yeah,
Oh,
we're getting
here's another good one. Someone threw a grill at my face. The attack made headlines.
Ah, I love that.
Headlines, get it, grill. Okay.
Dr. Jill, some of these you really have to
I'll
understand
I'll share this with you
the
guys. Yeah.
English expressions. Here's another one. Okay. So whenever we say, I just couldn't cut it. I tried to be a dancer, but I just couldn't cut it. What do I mean when I say that? I tried to be a tap dancer, but I just couldn't cut it.
Let's see. Who's the next person with their hand up is Jem. I bet he knows.
What does that mean?
Somebody can't cut it. No, don't know. Okay,
It
Binod.
was not perfect, not perfect.
Okay.
Right. I can't
All
do
right.
it very well. Right. Um,
So Anna, I heard that you fired the guy who tried to mow your lawn.
yeah, he just didn't cut it. So when you mow the lawn, you cut the lawn. And that's another thing some fathers like to do. They like to cut the lawn or
Yep.
mow the lawn. And if you say someone got fired because they didn't cut the lawn, you can make a joke and say they didn't cut it. These are hard to explain, Dr. Jill. They seem very simple, but they're not. But they're
Yeah.
very the basis of these jokes are understanding English expressions that are very common, but they have two meanings.
And playing with words,
And
right?
playing with those words. So I think we should share some of these. And these are really great ways, A, to understand kind of American humor, but also these very useful expressions like he couldn't cut it. Where did that come from? These are very common colloquial expressions. So
Yeah. So I'll put that one in the chat for you guys. Jem, did you have a comment?
In Turkey, Father Days is celebrated on the third Sunday of June. In the Turkish culture, Father's Day is not popular as Mother Days. Generally, on Father Days, children buy their fathers presents such as cologne, neckties, books, or something related to their hobbies. And on that day, young and energetic fathers may prefer to do something active in their children, such as engaging in some outdoor activity, barbecue, as you say. And there is a difference, our culture. Some family who have lost their fathers pay a visit to the cemetery in that day. And however, some Turkish fathers view Father's Day as a commercial trap and are very off the family budget. I am one of them. So we may tell our children days before to spend little or no money on them. It's symbolic. Celebrate simply. It's enough, I think.
yeah.
Here in America, any holiday is an excuse for a sale. So the shops always have sales, no matter what the holiday is. So next year we will be having Juneteenth sales. I guess they didn't have time for it this year, but
Right.
got one
But
more
I'll tell you,
holiday.
the best cards that I've gotten for Mother's Day and that I've given to, my son has given to my husband are just handmade cards. They're just so cute. Just they're better than anything store-bought, So just time together a handmade card. If you can, something, a favorite food or something. But that's always the best, I think.
Right, simply.
Yeah.
And then next we have Mahmoud.
Hi, Dr. Jill. Hi, Anna. I
Hi.
want to share talking about Father Day. In Egyptian, we celebrate it by Father's Day in the third Sunday of June. But I agree with, we can say Egyptian traditional like Turkish Father's Day didn't have a momenta such as Mother Day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mother's Day, I don't know which started first, but it definitely, there's more flowers, there's more gifts. For Father's Day, it's more about maybe just giving your dad time by himself.
Yeah, yeah.
No work, just a nap under a tree.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is, yeah, I think fathers and mothers both work so hard. You know, so sometimes,
Right.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Mahmoud. David.
I think men sometimes have a hard time being the center of attention. I think they're used to giving so much that when they are given gifts, maybe some fathers and some men feel maybe a little uncomfortable. I don't know if any of the fathers here feel that way, but there's definitely a difference, right, with men and women sometimes. No, maybe not, but
Don't make a fuss over me.
yeah, maybe fathers don't want people to make too much of a fuss. Yeah, that's a great word. Alfredo, I saw you nodding your head a little.
Yeah. Okay, David.
Talking about the saying and expressions, I remember when I was a child, my father used to say many expressions such as when I was your age, and then he told me some advice about something. Other expression that my father used to say was the greatest inheritance that I can give you is the education. Other was when I asked for any permission to my father, he always used to say, whatever your mother say. Always say the, the same expression. And other expression that I remember that I used my father was, when you have kids, you will remember me.
David,
Was
I
very
see.
common in
Yeah.
my house.
David, I think everybody is nodding their heads. Like, yes, my dad would say that. When I was your age, when you're older, you're going to appreciate this. Yeah, no.
Or wait till you have kids.
Wait till you're a father someday. You'll understand. Yeah. And you're going to say it too one day, David. We say these same things over and over. Um it's so lovely, actually.
Yes.
So I just want to go to step back a sec for the word that we used about make a fuss. So to make a fuss is to pay a lot of attention to somebody.
Right.
And fathers don't always like it when we make a fuss over them.
Yeah. I think that is true. Yeah. Oh, David, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Now, Maria, we haven't heard from Maria yet. And then we'll go to Alfredo.
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, here in Uruguay, Father's Day is the second Sunday of July.
Oh.
Here, yes. Before we have, I know you don't have, but here we have Grandfather's Day. Grandfather's Day. And we celebrate more Grandfather's Day than Father's Day.
Oh,
yes.
that's interesting.
Father's Day, Grandfather's Day was the last 19th of June, last week. Yes.
Oh.
And we celebrate in Uruguay, we celebrate more that day because it's the day of the birth of our national hero, Artigas.
Oh.
It's a national holiday. But Father's Day here we don't celebrate. We have a great celebration here in Uruguay. Usually we we give gifts or some present to our father, to the father, and fathers or the family joining to watching soccer, because well, here in Uruguay, soccer is people love to watch soccer. As me, my father, well, as I came from Italy, and my born in when World War II ends, but in those times, they don't choose to celebrate the any days. But I remember my father with much love, and he have expression I remember as he used to say much time before duty, then pleasure, because he want to works or all his life, and I suppose he was to teach us the same.
Yeah.
No, other the first time we comes in this country I'm living now, well, it was hard times because my family began to a new life here, began to work here, began new life. Then we have a few money. My parents have few money, and sometimes when we go out to dinner or lunch in some place, well, he has yes, he had this expression. Then I suppose was a joke because he say many times says to me because I was or the only child, the only child, the only daughter. He says to me, "Well, you have money, you can pay," and in this time, yes, it was one of his expression in those times. Well, was strange in his, but sometimes he had some expression, well, some joke expression, I suppose. But was a serious person, was a serious man. And he teach me how to the duty in the life, the honesty. Well, I have a good remember for him. I have loves him too much.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah. So the expression that you said earlier, before duty, then pleasure.
Yes.
Oh,
I think we would say first duty, then pleasure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
first do what you have to do, and then you can relax and have fun.
yes. Yes.
work
Yes.
before play. Oh my gosh, work before play, Anna. I can hear that thing.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Patricia. Yes.
Right.
Here's another expression. Fathers also give us tough love, right? Sometimes, like those lessons, sometimes it's hard to hear, but they need to say it. So the tough love sometimes comes from the father. Work before play.
Yes.
I remember something my father said to me was so important, and it sounds very tough. Yeah, it sounds very mean and very tough, but actually, it was the best thing he could have said to me. I was a young woman and I had just fixed some of my clothing. I sewed some of my clothing, and I was worried that it did not look good. I was worried it didn't look good. And so I asked my dad, and it was very small. It was a very small repair. I said, Dad, can you tell that I fixed my jeans? And he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, Anna, nobody really cares. And I thought about it. And at first I was like, oh, that's such a terrible thing to say. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, wow. Nobody really, and nobody cares. Nobody. So I felt this freedom, right? So it was the best thing he could have said, because when we're young, sometimes we think too much about ourselves, right? And we think everybody is looking at us and we feel self-conscious. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, wow, nobody cares. Great.
My grandmother used to say something like that to me. She said, it won't be seen on a trotting horse. And this is like if there's some flaw in your clothing, if you just keep moving, nobody will notice.
I've never heard that before. So those are examples of tough love expressions that our fathers they have to teach us those lessons, right? I mean,
Yep.
so
All right, we have one more hand up, and then we're going to have to wrap this up. Alfredo.
Yes, please. Just to say that Anna said something really true. One of the best way to honor your parents, especially when they are not with you, is to remember their jokes.
Hmm.
So I said my friends, my parents passed away. My mother passed away 10 years ago. My father 4 years ago passed away. And I said, my brothers, do you realize that all the time we are repeating the jokes of that my father was doing to us? So I think it is the best way to remember them and to honor them. No?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The times they made you laugh, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are
Or
the
roll your
moments.
eyes.
Right. But the eye rolling, again, it's just so lovely. And those are the moments I really hold on to, and I share them with my family. And it keeps that part alive. Because, I mean, you can remember the sad times too, but it's those jokes that you can pass on, that
Exactly.
spirit. Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. Thanks
And
so
you
much.
know, my father used to say a lot of jokes more than my mother. So all the times we are speaking more about my father. So I said my brothers, do you realize that all the times we are remembering my father more than my mother because his jokes. So it is a good way to remember them. The
Yeah.
best, I think.
All right. So I'd like everybody to join me in thanking Anna for joining us today.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank
We
It
you.
had a
was really nice
wonderful
to
time.
be in this
Thank
session with
you.
you and
Thank
Dr.
you.
Jill.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.